In the opening scene, two little kids, one girl and one boy, are running through a vast cornfield, chasing each other. Meanwhile, their father is by the house, checking his harvested corn seeds. His wife is inside the house, preparing meals for the whole family. The two kids merrily run in the fields. The girl is chasing her little brother, following the path of the cornfield. He decides to hide from his sister. The little girl searches through the tall plants for her brother. Then, the little boy suddenly gets pulled deeper into the field by someone unknown. Their father is checking the other newly harvested corn. When he opens one, he sees black liquid oozing from the crop. The little girl is still searching for her brother when she finds a strange woman. Black blood is flowing from her mouth and her neck is disfigured. The woman slowly steps towards her and the little girl steps back. Then, she senses something beside her. When she looks, a monster is staring at her and attacks her. The girl screams and her father hears this. He immediately gets up and runs through the fields to find his children, bringing an axe with him. He finds the little boy, standing so still in the middle of the tall plants. Then, he senses something behind him, and when he turns, a look of terror can be seen on his face. The wife senses that something is amiss. She doesn't see her husband and kids around, and the surroundings are very quiet. She goes out and heads to the fields. There, she sees her son. His eyes slowly turn black, and behind him stands a hideous monster of the fields. A look of despair and fear can be seen on the woman's face. She is paralyzed in her place and can do nothing but stare at the creature. The next scene shows a boy, lying on his bed, holding a comic. It turns out that the story earlier is something written in the comic he is reading. Then, he senses something moving on the chair in his bedroom. He initially ignores it, but when he looks again, he sees a monster lurking, looking right at him. Terrified, he calls his daddy and tells him there's a monster. His dad opens the light and finds nothing. He tells his son to go back to sleep, but the boy wants his dad to stay. His dad agrees, comforting his son. His dad tells him that he is a big boy now and he needs to let go of the fear of monsters. He offers to read his boy a story and sees the comic. He sees that it's a horror story, so he tries to change it, but the boy likes horror stories. He goes on to read. The story is titled, The Last Seance. Two sisters are sleeping in a bed when one of them, Anna, wakes up in the middle of the night. She seems to be talking to someone in the ceiling. She tells it to leave them alone. Her sister, Grace, is sleeping beside her holding her teddy bear when she notices Anna talking. Anna explains that a man is floating above them, but Grace doesn't see anyone there. Fast forward to when they are already grown-ups. The sisters are now paranormals who perform seances for a living. They are currently in a couple's house whose daughter passed away, and they are trying to find closure. Anna tells them that she can feel a presence in the house. However, this presence is making her feel uncomfortable, or even afraid. She tries to stop the seance, but the couple is already invested in it and very thankful to her for helping them. Anna tells Grace that something is not right. However, Grace stops her and says that if they back out now, people will think they are frauds. Anna tells her that whatever is in the house could severely harm them. Grace doesn't want to stop, pointing out that they do not know anything else, and this is their only means of survival. She even says that she is just protecting Anna. Anna gets angry that all Grace cares about is money. Grace tells Anna that if she goes now, she will have nothing. No money, nowhere to go, and no family. Anna decides to stay. She takes one glance at Grace and whispers that she never protected her. Anna suddenly hears a deep voice calling her name from up the stairs. She asks if it is Mary Beth, the deceased girl. The stairs lead to Mary Beth's room according to her mom. When asked how Mary Beth passed, she says she was just in her room playing, and then suddenly she just fell on the ground outside. They start the seance, led by Grace, and with Anna as the medium. Anna enters the spirit realm where Mary Beth shows up. Back in the real world, Grace asks Mary Beth why she remains in the house, and she answers that it's because someone is keeping her there. Grace starts getting worried and tries to wake Anna up, but Mary Beth begs her for help in the spirit realm. Anna decides to go with Anna to see the man keeping her in the house. They go upstairs, and instead of Mary Beth's room, Anna sees her own room. Then, someone covered in sheets suddenly arises from the bed. Anna thinks it's Grace, telling her to just close her eyes and she will protect her. But when she uncovers the sheet, she finds a ghost. Mary Beth suddenly appears again and says that the man wanted to find Anna. Fear creeps in and Anna tries to escape, but then, a horrifying man shows up behind her. In fear, she gets into the bed and covers herself like a little kid scared of ghosts, while holding her sister's teddy bear. The man calls her name, and then silence follows. When she removes the sheet, she stares at the ceiling and talks to the man, just like she used to when she was a kid. The man tells her not to be afraid. All she needs to do is give the man her sister's bear and she will save Anna from her. Anna gives in and the monster caresses her face. Anna's consciousness returns to the real world and assures Mary's parents that she is okay. Then, she turns to Grace, who is smiling at her. She holds Anna's hand and suddenly, her eyes start turning black. It seems that Anna has bargained for her freedom using her sister's soul. Back to the little boy, he starts seeing smoke in his closet and gets scared again, calling his dad. His dad jokingly acts like something in the closet is pulling him, but then takes out his hand, holding a superhero figurine. The boy doesn't think this is funny. The next horror story that the boy reads is titled The Plague. The scene shows a group of men getting out of a car. One of them has blood splatters all over his clothes. The scene cuts to a woman's house. She hears clattering in the bathroom and thinks there is an intruder. When she checks, it turns out to be her father who has dementia. Sitting in the bathtub, she carefully dries him, while telling him he can't live with her anymore. She states that the nursing home is good for him, as they can take better care of him there. Her dad holds her hand lovingly. The woman decides that he can stay with her that night, and will call the nursing home to let them know he is there. She goes downstairs when she hears a knock. When she peeks through the peephole, the door suddenly gets kicked down. Armed men enter the house as if looking for something. They find her dad, and a fight ensues. Her dad runs downstairs and tries to escape, but the man shown in the earlier scene shows up and shoots him. This frightens the woman. The bloodied man approaches her and says he didn't take her father's life. He explains that he passed due to a heart attack a few hours ago. However, he just doesn't want to go. Indeed, her dad doesn't want to, as he tries to get up after just being shot right through his stomach. He tries to grab her, but the other men bring a coffin and place her dad inside. Then, they take him away. It seems that the woman has just had an encounter with the Grim Reaper himself. The men take her dad to an island and place his coffin together with other souls who don't want to go. The boy has just finished reading when he goes to the bathroom to pee. As he washes his hand, the light suddenly goes off and the burnt man he saw earlier shows up and follows him to his room. Fortunately, his daddy comes and finds him under the bed. The boy feels safe with his dad there. Another comic book titled Sleepwalk is seen on the floor. This is our next story. A man is driving on a long journey. He stops by a gasoline station to fill up and asks the man where he can find Dolores Barrett's residence. The man kindly gives him the directions and asks what his inquiry is about. He says that he is just looking to get some apple pie made by Dolores, as he heard it's the meanest apple pie in the country. He finds the restaurant where Dolores works. He orders a slice of apple pie, but the owner finds his order weird as they no longer make apple pie and removed it from the menu long ago. He offers something else, but the man asks if he can talk to the cook to make one for him. The owner goes to the kitchen, but when he returns, he says that the cook is busy and cannot accommodate his request. The man seems to be really set on getting the apple pie and tells the owner that he can wait. The owner finds this strange. The day goes on, hours pass by and the man sits and waits. Evening comes and the owner closes the shop. The man waits outside and the cook, Dolores, finally comes out. She doesn't look so pleased. She confronts him, saying there are plenty of places he can go to get an apple pie, but he chooses to come all the way here. The man tells her he is just trying to keep a promise. Dolores asks her what the promise is about, and suddenly feels a sense of sadness in her, and cries. Morning comes and Dolores knocks on the sleeping man's car. She hands him the box of apple pie. The man drives back and arrives at a penitentiary. It turns out that the man is a jail officer. He walks inside the prison, carrying the apple pie. Inside, there sits Darren, Dolores' son. A plate of apple pie is served in front of him. It is revealed that he is scheduled to be executed soon. He wished for his last meal to be his mother's apple pie. This is why the man was very eager to get the apple pie no matter what. He is honoring his promise to this inmate, who is about to be gone from this world. Before going, Darren asks if he told his mom about his situation. The man tells him he didn't. Darren thanks the man. Back to the boy. He is still scared about the monster. His dad tells him that whenever he's scared, he must let go of his fear, look into the creature's eyes, and let go. The next story is titled My Blood. Father and son, William and Jake, come into a house. They are exorcists dealing with possessed humans. The woman's daughter is possessed and has been locked up for 3 weeks now, as she started to harm others, including her mother. William is doing this for a hefty price and asks for the woman's down payment. Jake doesn't seem pleased by what William is doing at all. William takes the down payment and they start. Jake's arm is filled with cuts. William hands him a dagger and then he heads to the girl's room. Meanwhile, William takes a seat in front of an altar with the girl's photo. They both start chanting, and Jake places his arms above the girl's mouth, ready to cut it for the girl to drink his blood. The demon in the girl suddenly awakens and attacks Jake. Whatever is happening to the demon seems to affect William outside as well. It's as if he is in control of the demon. Then, Jake manages to make her drink his blood. Seconds later, the demon is successfully subdued. Before going, William gets the rest of the payment. They leave right after and stop at a gas station where Jake treats his wound. Jake is sick of what they are doing. Based on their conversation, it can be concluded that William is making kids, like the girl earlier, sick by placing a demon in them. Then, they will use Jake's power to remove the demon in exchange for money. Jake decides that he doesn't want to do this anymore. Seeing that his son is not willing to continue, William goes on to meet with a stripper. He caresses the woman's belly. It's as if what he has in mind is that if Jake doesn't want to do this anymore, he can just have another son with blood that can be useful to him. Back to the boy, he finds himself in the middle of a fire and doesn't know how to escape. He sees his comics burning and a hand reaching out. He wakes up from the dream and finds smoke coming out of his closet again. He decides to face his fears this time and approaches it. When he opens it, a burnt man is in there, and he calls it his daddy. The man praises his bravery, finally learning to face his fear. Then, the boy's mom walks in to check on her son. He asks her if she ever dreams about his dad too. His mom says she does and misses him a lot. It turns out that a fire took his dad's life, and the burnt man he has been seeing all along was his dad, teaching him to let go of his fear.